I'm a youngster myself, so I know a lot of people that do that at school, you know, and it's bad. They don't know what they're smoking anymore.
Dangerous fentanyl-laced vape pens have recently been found on 2 high school campuses, and there's no word yet on whether students even knew what they were carrying. Health officials warning the pens could easily be deadly, since even a very small dose of fentanyl is enough to kill. To weigh in on the growing crisis, we have Derek Maltz, a former DEA Special Operations Agent, and Jaime Puerta, who became the Victims of Illicit Drugs president after his 19-year-old son, Daniel, died of an accidental fentanyl overdose in 2020. Actually, I don't want to say overdose. It really is a poisoning, right? To me, these are murders, Jaime. And I know he passed away in April of 2020. You've had a rough couple of years. Tell us a little bit about him and what you have decided to do to dedicate your life.
My son Daniel was 16 and a half years old when he passed away due to fentanyl poisoning. He passed away on April the 6th of 2020. What I have found out since then was my son had reached out to a drug dealer on Snapchat. The drug was delivered 1 block from our home. He consumed half a pill sometime the night of March 31st, and I found him dead the next morning. It's been absolutely horrendous. And when I was starting to do my research, I just came across so many other families that have had the same situation to them, where their loved ones, their teens, have died. And what's really insidious about this is that the children think that they're receiving a pharmaceutical trademarked pill, when in all reality there are counterfeit opioids like OxyContin, oxycodone, Percocet, Vicodin, Adderall, Xanax, and they consume these pills made of fentanyl and they die. It's one and done, and they had absolutely no idea. We had between April 2019 and April 2020, 93,300 drug deaths in the United States of America, according to the CDC. And between April 20 through April 2021, that jumped up to 100,304 drug deaths. 64% of those deaths are all due to fentanyl poisoning. It's absolutely insane that this is happening.
Derek, I want to show you some numbers as well from 2020 to 2021, if we could put those up on the board here, for how many overdoses or deaths, murders, have occurred. In 48,000, let's call it, in 2020, and just between June 2020 and 21, a 31% increase to 62,000. So we've talked about this a little bit before, that some teens, they know how to use the internet, obviously, and you can go on. Now I understand there, even in vape pens, you can find fentanyl, Derek?
Yeah, so we're having a growing concern around America. We're starting to see fentanyl in the vape liquid, which is really concerning because the kids think vaping is safer than smoking cigarettes. The Johns Hopkins report that went out says it's safer than smoking. But here's the thing, Dana, they don't know what they're getting. It's just like the pills. If you're looking in Phoenix DEA alone, in 2015, there were 0 pills seized, the fake pills. Last year, over 10 million. So we see the trends because it's such an addictive substance, and the Mexican cartels are going to continue to market their campaigns towards this new generation of users. So the parents have to start getting engaged with their families. But you know what's really sad, Dana? Jaime's been leading an effort with families around America. But where's the government? Where's the federal and state governments putting out these safety alerts? I mean, the DEA administrator did put out one in September, and I applaud her for that. But it's just happening so quickly, and the deaths are escalating. So we have to stop. We have to stop
Jaime,
this, Dana.
In this opportunity to talk to millions of people who are watching, what would you want to say to parents who are possibly worried about their own children, or because there are so many of you who are also grieving in the same way, you know, what can you tell them as you've processed all of this grief?
Well, first and foremost, if you think that it cannot happen to your family, I'm sorry, but you're very mistaken. Most people think that these deaths are happening to people who are within the substance use community. Yes, they are dying as well when fentanyl is being added to their heroin and things like that. But what's happening right now across America is we have social media platforms like Snapchat, where drug dealers abound on there. Their target market is children between the ages of 13 and 17 years old. Parents have absolutely no right to monitor what their children are doing on these social media apps like Snapchat. And what is happening is, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You have a child behind a computer screen 6.5 hours, 7 hours. They're bored. They're not socializing with other children. They go onto Snapchat. You connect with the drug dealer. And unfortunately, what they're getting is a counterfeit opioid made of fentanyl. And all you really need is 2 milligrams of fentanyl in a pill to take your life. And it's happening across the nation. The numbers continue to go up. I can't even imagine what the numbers are going to look like for 2022. Because as we know, in Riverside County, Orange County, and Los Angeles County, since 2017, the number of drug deaths due to fentanyl poisoning have doubled. And so these are not overdoses. These are poisonings. Children do not understand what they are receiving are counterfeit opioids made of fentanyl, and they die.
Yeah.
My son took half a pill. That's all he took, was half a pill, and it killed him.
Well, Jaime, I'm so sorry for your loss. I will say, looking at the pictures of your son, Daniel, that was a good-looking kid. And no doubt that he was raised
beautiful.
very well by you. He really was. All right.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Please try to have a good weekend.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you. You too.
Oh, that was tough to hear.
These are tough, you know, right? Because you don't know what your kids are doing online necessarily, and the fact that you can find a drug dealer on a social media site, or now thinking you're buying a vape pen, but it's laced with fentanyl and you die.
Listen, I don't think we can do this story enough to get the word out there. This is roulette for so many young people, or not even young, for anyone who tries it or dares to go there. So, best to that father. He lost a great young man there.